here with Unscripted Heart. We are on week 2 of our Mindful Words Challenge. So last week was all about attention, and mindfulness truly is placing our attention on the present moment without judgment. So we're learning to identify with the present moment with a sense of curiosity, as opposed to this is good or this is bad. And so it opens up this gray area for us to explore our sensations and just really come into a sense of kind of friendliness with the present moment. And so this second word builds upon the first word. And so our word for this week is awareness. And awareness simply means that we're knowing and showing understanding. So when we begin to place our attention on the present moment without judgment, then it opens up this whole experience that we didn't have before. And so we're able to have a deeper level of awareness. We're able to understand different sensations maybe that we didn't notice before, or we're able to understand our emotions and what's causing them from a wider perspective. And so we become more aware. And so awareness, like I said before, is knowing and showing understanding. And this naturally happens as we begin to place our attention on the present moment. So mindfulness really is having a mind that's awake. And we do this over and over and over and over again as a practice to strengthen our brains so that we're able to have greater levels of well-being. And so through this program, you're going to begin to learn about your brain, and your child is going to begin to learn about their brain by utilizing 3 key players in our brain. And we talked a little bit last week about our amygdala. And our amygdala is the most primal, primitive part of our brain, and it's responsible for fight, flight, or freeze. So when we're stressed, when we're overwhelmed by emotions, or as we like to say, being in the tornado of emotions, that amygdala is activated. It sends stress hormones and chemicals throughout our entire body, and we really can't make wise choices at that time. So that's why it's important to sit and breathe and come back into a sense of calm so that we can have access to our prefrontal cortex. In this journey, you and your children will learn about these parts of your brains by characters that I've developed. And our amygdala, we call our dragon. And we all have dragons. And sometimes our dragon comes out. And that's okay, it's part of being human. But it's our responsibility to tame and train our dragons. And when we do that, our prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for higher levels of empathy, higher levels of intelligence, the ability to make thoughtful decisions, and a whole lot of other things, we call that our wise owl. And so the stories that are in the Mindful Words Challenge workbook will help you and your children to understand these parts of our brains in a context of social and emotional well-being. So let's get started. So let's go ahead and practice together today our brain train. So the first step in our brain train practice is that we're going to put our mindful body on. And a mindful body just simply means that we're sitting crisscross applesauce. We're finding this strength and straightness in our spine. We're going to zip up our spine. We're going to take a moment to feel how we have our own back and this feeling of kind of openness to our heart space, that this present moment is available to us. Nothing that we're feeling or experiencing is good or bad. It's just here for us to kind of develop a deeper awareness for ourselves and for others. So our mindful bodies are still and they're quiet. And when we're able to find that kind of sense of attention in our own bodies, then we begin to breathe. So we're going to inhale, hold, and exhale. Breathing in, holding, and exhaling. One more time. taking a moment to notice how your body feels after breathing deeply. Those deep breaths naturally calm our amygdala. They naturally bring this sense of openness and spaciousness into our body. And now we're going to listen for sounds. So we're going to utilize our sense of sound to connect to the present moment and have an awareness of the sounds that are around us. So like I said before, you can listen to the sounds in your own environment. You can try to catch sounds. Notice what sound is close to you. Notice what sound is far away. And you begin to have an awareness that even in silence, it's not really silent. There's always sounds around us. But for today's practice, I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, and when you can no longer hear the bell anymore, go ahead and open them. Okay, and notice how you feel. So last week we used the word attention as kind of the anchor for our mindfulness practice. And I hope that you learned a lot of different things and noticed some things as you began to practice paying attention on purpose. So this week we're going to use the word awareness as the anchor for our practice. And so I taught you last week about how you can use your fingers to kind of place your attention on a thought that you're focusing on over and over and over again. And that was that attention begins with me. And so this week I want to show you how you can learn the definition of the word by still focusing on your fingers and your thoughts. So what we're going to do is we're going to say awareness, knowing and showing understanding. Awareness, knowing and showing understanding. Awareness, knowing and showing understanding. Now in a whisper. Awareness, knowing and showing understanding. Awareness, knowing and showing understanding. Awareness, knowing and showing understanding. And now in your own head silently. And then when you're done, take your palms, place them at your heart. And let's just take a moment to dedicate our practice and to dedicate it to people everywhere, finding more peace, more wellness, more joy in their lives in this present moment. And my hope is that your personal practice, and by you doing the brain train practice with your families each and every day, learning these mindful words, reading through the stories, writing in the journals, having your kids draw on the sketch page, that you'll begin to see your kids more clearly and that you'll have more peace and happiness and joy in your household. Thank you so much for your practice.